everybody, and welcome back to this crappy Christmas special. Thank you for joining me yet another time for a little talk about whiskies. This time I'm gonna do a roundup of some of the bad whiskies that I've encountered throughout the years. I'm not gonna go on a rant about how bad some of these whiskies are. It's not nice not to be nice, but it's nice to be nice. So I'm just gonna give you my opinion about some of the aspects of these whiskies that I don't like. Your opinion may be very different from mine, and that's totally fine. And now let's get on with this sort of negative shopping list for Christmas. Let's start out with Glendronach, 8-year-old pure malt. You might ask what a pure malt is. Reasonable question. It's essentially just a bunch of single malt vatted together. Simple as that. This particular pure malt was bought at a local supermarket, very cheap, about the same price as a Johnny Walker Red Label. Let me read the label. Blah blah. Aged in oak. What a surprise. Rich in character. Essentially just a load of bollocks. Let me see what I have written about the taste. Yeah, generic, bland, and sweet. It doesn't offer any more than a reasonable blend, and also it has got a very yeasty, almost Marmite-like character, which I do not approve of. So this one's out, I'm afraid. Moving on with Bruichladdich Rux. This single malt has a lot of good things going for it. It's on non-chill filters and no caramel is added. It has this coastal character, salty coastal character. There's a hint of red wine in the nose and in taste, and it's probably due to that it has been oaked in red wine casks for about a year. It hasn't got an age statement, but I believe it's about 5, 6, 7 year old or something like that. The problem with this one is that it's sort of like it's sort of like a young child with a lot of potential, but it's just not there yet. So I respect the character and the spirit, but it needs more time in the casks, and it's too expensive. Let's move on to a real bastard, a bastard malt. You might ask what a bastard malt is, and that's another reasonable question, and it is simply a non-distillery specific malt. This one is still a single malt, and it's still aged for 12 years, but we just haven't got a clue which distillery has made this. Some bastard malts can actually be very good, can be great value for the money. This one, not so great. It was cheap, but the spirit is extremely rough, almost peppery rough. There's absolutely nothing happening in the finish. Almost the first time I tried that in any whiskey at all. Not recommended. Moving on quickly to a Canadian whiskey, Black Velvets. Now, Canadian whiskies are primarily made from corn and rye, as far as I remember. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But this one is made from wheat, wheat, rye and barley. Let me see what I've written down about the taste. Yeah, sweet, neutral, no depth. Reminds me of vodka. That's what I've written down. Um, it is the closest thing you can get to a vodka. So, I mean, this isn't whiskey to me. It's more like bourbon, if anything. So, well, not recommended. Now, I'm gonna talk a bit about a couple of whiskies that I've not got with me. I've tasted Glendronach 15-year-old 100% sherry cask matured just last week. Quite an expensive whiskey. I think this one was bottled in 1999 or 2003 or something like that. And to be fair, it has been opened and been standing in a cupboard for, I don't know, 5, 6, maybe 7 years, and of course that has a big influence on how it tastes. The color was almost gravy dark. That could be due to the Oloroso sherry casks. Although I suspect that it has something to do with caramel, because the taste was caramel and cheap sherry, and the nose was also E150 and cheap sherry. So bear that in mind, not recommended. Now, last and unfortunately also least is Ballantines Finest. Generic, bland, no aftertaste. Nothing more to say about that one. Yeah, I guess that is it. Now, marks. I'm not gonna give any of those whiskey any marks. Some of them are very close to 80 out of 100, and some of them aren't. It's not nice to kick somebody who's already laying down. So I'm not gonna do that. But thank you once again for joining me, and have a Merry Christmas. Thank you.